This is the Titan Futures 1 point a day challenge. Earning your living executing trades from the comfort of your home seems a lot more cool than most 9 to 5 gigs. Trouble is, if you don't know what you're doing, you can wreck your portfolio. But with our trading instructors, BK, Soto, and Mitchell, you'll learn how to day trade the futures market. Streaming daily, 9 to 11 a.m. Free. This is a free trading education channel. The Titan Futures 1 point a day challenge, where everybody is welcome. Get in the chat, ask us questions, learn. And now your instructors. This is BK, Soto, and Mitchell.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, October 3rd. Let me bring this down here. Just end it all together. But it is Thursday, October 3rd. Thank you guys for being here. Sure do appreciate it. Hope everybody's well. Kind of get going here. Go ahead and just, if you see my screen, you see the legal disclaimers there. We're always got to start out with the legal disclaimers. Make sure we're good there. So just a quick recap of that is, everything we do here is for educational purposes only, right? Any trade you decide to take will be on your own. Anything we do in the room is not a trade recommendation in any way, shape, or form. So just remember, everything here is for educational purposes only. All right, and you can read more about the legal disclaimers in our description below. But all right, we'll kind of move off of that. But just briefly, check out the description of the channel below to learn a little bit more about us and who we are and what we do. But this is called the Titan Futures 1 point a day challenge. Okay, so we want to challenge you to make 1 point a day. It's simple as that, because that 1 point today is worth $50 today on one contract. But as you let your account compound and grow, that same point today that's worth $50 will be worth $50,000 when you get to 1,000 contracts one day as you grow that account. So it's imperative you learn how to make that 1 point, okay? And that's what we teach here, is kind of challenge you to be able to make 1 point out of the market. All right, so again, read the description below. We want this to be a fun, easy place to learn to trade and learn the markets, ask questions, get comfortable here. And we really do appreciate you kind of checking us out. We really are thankful for that. And again, we're a new channel, guys. Today is actually our 30th day live, so we're learning how to do this as far as the live stream goes and all that good stuff. We know how to trade. We've been doing that for a very long time, but doing the whole live stream YouTube thing is new to us. So please bear with us as we get through some technical difficulties here and trying to work some things out. But yeah, just check out the live stream. The description below, and then kind of learn a little bit more about who we are. But kind of get going here. There's myself and Soto and Mitchell that are the three traders here. Mitchell will not be joining us today. He's still sick. I just got back from his honeymoon, but he's kind of still under the weather. So he's let us know he would not be joining us this morning. So we hope he gets better. But we do have the infamous and the great and the Soto there. And Soto, are you alive this morning?
Good morning. Yes, good morning. Good to be here. Good to see you guys.
He is here. Awesome. Good job. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, so that's good. So there'll be Soto and myself talking this morning. Paul, good to see you this morning. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for chiming in. And if you guys are new, just say hi. Let us know you're here, and we'd really appreciate that. And kind of get to know you a little bit would be great. But go ahead. I've got my charts up this morning, Soto. I've already made a trade this morning. Had a nice little opportunity when nailed 3 points this morning on a couple contracts, which was good. And I've got that kind of drawn up on my chart. Had an entry at 82.75. Took 3 ticks of heat, so got in a little bit early, but 3 ticks of heat there. But we ended up getting our 1 point, and I trailed it and got two additional points out of the trail. So not too bad to start of the day. And you can see that I have that drawn up on my chart there.
Sweet. Which candle were you using? The 830?
Yeah, I used the 830 as a demand candle, and it was a pretty long wick there. You might not be able to see the wick because I've got this box drawn, so I'll move that box briefly, and then just but you can see the wick there. Definitely told us it was a good opportunity. A lot of rejection there, a lot of buying opportunity right there in that 830 zone that was drawn, and I got in at 82.75 on the retest of that, and took my first point out at 83.75, and my second in my runner I got out at 84.75, so I got 2 points on the runner there as well. So and you can see I mean, I leave my entries and exits markers up there so you can actually see what I do, and I'm not just talking about this is what I did. This, you can actually see the trades happen here, so it's not that win or lose, you're going to see those trades, right? So there's no hiding here. And at the end of the day, we do our spreadsheet to update that as well, to kind of give everybody a real live update of what's going on in the room. So so I'll do that here, and I know the boys do that too. I mean, I know Soto and Mitchell both do that, but you actually see my screen now, so I kind of do that for the room. But what you're going to see on my chart, if you're looking at it for the first time, you see a big green box and a big red box. Those are actually from the hourly time frame, showing we're actually in a supply zone, I mean a demand zone right now in the hourly time frame. So that also helped with a bias to the long side when I had that opportunity to get on the 8:30 candle there, because I was in a area of demand on the hour time zone. So that was just kind of confluence there, kind of helps, which is always nice to kind of give you a little bit extra confidence. So that's what that was. But right overhead though, guys, on the this red zone here is actually a inside candle, a hidden zone on an hourly chart of supply. So gotta be careful taking any long trades into that zone. We might look for rejection out of that zone, but we'll just kind of wait to see when we get there what volume does. So that's kind of what you're seeing on my chart there, and why it looks so colorful this morning. But let me, while I got the chance here, let me go ahead and bring in our tools of the trade. Let me bring those in for everybody to see. So all right, we have 5 tools of the trade here, guys. That's kind of what we call them. Here we got our first one is just price action. All right, kind of watch that. Second one would be volume. Not necessarily in this order, guys, but this is how we label them. So our third one is support and resistance. Our fourth one is supply. Our fourth one is supply and demand. Okay. Our fifth one is order flow. Okay, which you won't see on our charts here yet. I'll keep that for a little bit later on as the room gets a little more advanced. We'll kind of introduce supply, order flow, because there's a little bit more to that. But we will definitely introduce that. I just lost that, sorry about that. So we'll pull that back in here for everybody to see. I'm all over the place, guys, excuse me here. Let me kind of get my charts set up for us here. It looks like I'm going to need to go a little bit lower on this. So let me bring this in, because I always want this to stay in focus, you know, about what our tools of the trade are. I want that to stay in focus through the whole time on our charts. That way we understand what we're looking for at all times, and why things line up the way they do, and the opportunities we're getting and we're giving, and the points that we make are all based on these tools right here. Give us the decisions to make these trades, and I want these to be available and be seen at all times. So give me a minute to kind of make some adjustments here for that. We kind of have a little sideways action, so sorry about that, guys, bear with me there. Alright, I don't like prices jumping on me, y'all. So again, there's the tools of the trade. Alright, I'm gonna have to make another adjustment. I'm gonna put this on the bottom of the screen this time if I can. Ay. You wouldn't think it'd be this difficult this morning, but it seems to be difficult today, right now. So
yeah, it's just that price. It's so different in price. The widescreen, man. Can't see every time.
It does every time, but I'll get it worked out. But this is important enough, as far as I'm concerned, that it's worth getting it figured out this pretty quick here this morning and getting this on the chart. I want this to stay on the chart because I think it's imperative that we learn. Let me just do this. It's imperative that we learn these key factors here and how important they are. Okay, so I'm going to squinch the chart up a little bit so those can be seen, and I'll adjust that as we need to on the chart itself. All right, well, there we go. So we're going to make that work. All right. All right. Let's see here. Yeah. All right. All right. So Paul or Soto, do you guys have any trades yet this morning? Have any zones drawn up that we can kind of talk about and identify for everybody?
Yeah, I haven't taken any trades this morning. It hasn't triggered me, if you would, but I have some that are probably closest to us, right at 7:30.
Right at 7:30. Okay, let me check that out. Let me continue to mess with this real quick here. I'm putting it on the bottom of the.
Yeah.
Gosh, this is ridiculous. But oh well. It's like I said, it's worth doing. I want it done. I want everybody to see it.
Yeah. Is there a way to group those and copy and paste so that way you can just paste it?
That's what I was trying to figure out. I don't think I could. I have to try to figure that out with the software. I can't copy and paste into the software, so I have to kind of. But I might be able to do that as a group and move it over. So I'll mess with that. But anyway, all right, here we go. So I think that's good enough for now. So all right, your zone you said you had drawn at where?
7:30.
You have a 7:30 zone drawn.
Supplies. Yeah, supplies zone 7:30.
Yep, good. I like that. Yeah, that's a good supply zone there. I'll draw that up as well. It's a good supply zone, and it kind of, which is also neat, that it also good, actually, I should say, that it supports our supply on the hourly time frame, as far as we should get a little rejection out of that area. So that's good.
And I have another one towards the bottom, which actually I think will support our theory too, because it'll bounce off to the long side. And that's See, I can't make fun of you because I also struggle with this screen stuff, but a lot worse than you do. Because I've been wanting to make fun of you like for the last 30 minutes, but I can't make fun of you because I also struggle with
At least you're honest about it. That's good. At least you're honest.
Oh, yeah. I would make fun of you. So, but by the way, in good heart, I would never make fun of people I don't like. Only people I like. So. All right, 1645. Yeah.
1645?
Yeah, 1645.
So from yesterday, we have a zone from yesterday.
Yes.
All right, let's kind of go back into that. 1645. Okay, yep, that's kind of a hidden zone in another potential zone there, so we'll kind of draw that up. I'm okay with that one. It's already been pushed through once.
Has it been triggered? I haven't seen that. Okay, I didn't see that it was triggered.
Yeah, it was triggered this morning at on this candle down here at 7:55. Pushed right through it this morning. It's actually a good zone, but just kind of pushed through it. So let's kind of see what else we got going on here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, so we got that drawn up anyway. All right, so we kind of watched this morning. We're kind of getting a little bullish candle back into our potential sell zone here. So let's just talk about where would you have an entry to the short side here if you were going to put one in based on your zone you have drawn here at 7:15-ish.
Yeah, I think this one, and please stop me if I'm incorrect here.
All right.
You can, there's resistance at 86.75.
86.75, okay.
Yeah, so, and let's see. So I don't think that would be a horrible spot.
Yeah, it's bumping that right now, yeah. If I were gonna, I guess if I were gonna make a trade with volume kind of decreasing a little bit here, I'd probably go in at 87.25 somewhere maybe. Kind of knowing that I've got a little bit of room to test the top of that zone. So I would go in one tick below 87.75 to 87.5. Even 87 and a quarter there. So I'm gonna go on the safe side here, and I wouldn't mind putting the trade in at 87 and a half.
87.
You kind of look at a little bit of rejection out of that for it to get into that upper zone there.
Yeah.
Hourly time frame there. So I'll put in a quick I'll put in an order there temporarily, and I'll kind of watch it, and then make a decision to get out of it if I need to in a quick second here. But as long as volume stays low, and we kind of, I like that start of the rejection wicks there at on these three candles, these three, that 905 to 910 to 915. We got some rejection wicks going on there, so I like that. But we also have some support right here too, at that starting at 840 this morning. It looks like, yeah, starting at 840, we got a lot of support. It just pushed through, or a lot of rejection. It just pushed through and closed above. So we might end up finding this to be a little bit of support here as well. So we got to watch that. We're kind of getting ourselves cornered here, and I don't want to take a bad trade by being cornered. So I got to be careful, even though we do have a good zone there. Not every zone's created equal, as they say, but we got to watch that. Excuse me. Let's see. Paul said trade made at 905 from the 745 candle. So all right, so Paul had a 745 candle. All right, so he's got a hidden zone there. You had 905. You made a trade at 905 based on that. All right, yeah. Hey, good trade, Paul. Yeah, that's right. It's a good zone. That'll work. I mean, that's kind of coming back into that little sideways action into that zone. So nice job. Got your point out of that. It looks like. So good job, Paul. Very nicely done. Paul's just making points left and right, man. He's kind of showing us.
Yeah. I saw that, but that's just been, I mean, it worked out great, but it's just been triggered so many.
Yeah, it's been triggered a few times for sure.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of times, but yeah, it was, kept being respected though, so that's good.
Yeah, it's kind of been respected. Yeah, so we leave that there.
On that part, yeah.
It's a little higher risk trade, obviously, but shows a lot of rejection wicks out of that. Definitely a higher risk trade, and but he definitely he made it work and got his point. But he knew it was a little bit higher risk when he took it, so he was willing to take the loss if it were to go against him, knowing it's a little bit higher risk because it was triggered a few times already. And we just know as part of this method that becomes a high risk opportunity, but still opportunity nonetheless. Just becomes a little higher risk. So I'm actually going to kill this trade at this point. I don't like it just taking so long right here to get into our area to reject. So I'm going to just hold off on this trade. I removed it, and going to just wait for a better opportunity there. Even though the zone is still valid, especially with the overhead hourly supply, just going to hang out for a few minutes here because
yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like the way it's doing.
You know what I didn't take into account? I traded at, I jumped the zone, so I'm in the trade.
Oh, did you? Okay.
But yeah, but after you mentioned this, I kind of finally triggered in my head, and you're, I think, 100% right, because it's been struggling here. See the, like you said, the support there, right below the candle? I mean, right below the zone?
Yeah.
Which is flirting with it right now. Yeah, I just, okay, so it just got a point now.
Good. Okay. Well, you got your point. That's good.
Yeah, but that was lucky. I think that was like you said. That was not a. I should have. And unfortunately, I didn't really pay. I saw it, so it's not that I didn't pay attention. I didn't take it into account. Rather, what you pointed out is yes, it's a good zone, and I think it was good to front run it. In my case, like I was telling you before, it kind of came in and kind of surprised me. It was already there because I was looking back at the bottom of the 410 candle. There was some support, resistance there, right? So I was like, oh, I think we'll go there, which I think it did, and it bounced off that area. But now the question is, is it strong enough to bounce off to break it down, to go short, right?
Sure.
And I think it's exactly what's happening here. What you just said is kind of struggling here, and then now it's hanging out of 1 point profit, 0.75, 0.50, hanging out there. So I think I just got lucky.
Well,
so not.
it's always good to have luck on your side.
Yeah. Mitchell, not Mitchell. Mitch always says luck is better than being an expert or something, whatever. But I'm not. I mean, luck is great, but I'd rather take a better calculated move.
Exactly.
So I'm not really happy with.
Good than lucky, personally. So,
yeah.
People say I'd rather be lucky than good. Well, in trading, I want to be good. That way, it's a long, sustainable.
Yeah.
I can't be lucky every day trading, or over a long period of time.
Right.
I want to be good at trading, and because of the longevity of the opportunity, and to make a living on the market, you need to be good, very, very good at certain aspects of trading. And for us, it's all about entries, it's all about risk management, and it's all about being disciplined. So I want to be good at those things. I don't want to be lucky at those things. I want to be good at those things, and very good at those things. And it produces it produces the longevity and being able to trade for long term and for a living, and that's always a good thing. So, so you got in at 86 and a quarter, so you front run the zone. Is that right?
Yes. Sorry, I was trying to make the math here.
So you got in at 86 and a quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I just got picked out. I get to take so I got my point, and that's what I was doing. I keep just for it's easier for me to write everything down when I make a point to lose, instead of winning to the end of the show here.
Yeah.
So I got 13 contracts at 1 point.
Okay.
And because I'm trading 22 contracts now.
22 contracts, all right.
Yep. And then the next 9, I only got a tick out of it, which is good, which is better than a loss, right?
Absolutely. I'd rather get that ticket, especially in the mornings here, man. I'd definitely rather get lock in at 1 ticket profit, get the majority of my position off, and 1 point, lock in, and then my second half of those positions start to lock in, and have my multiple targets from there. So just in case we do catch that runner. But I mean, it's just always better to, when you have profit, to lock it in, especially since we're going for shorter moves here. We're not going for big, long moves. If we were going for 5, 10, 15-point targets, then we wouldn't lock in so quickly, for sure. But since we are just going for these 1 point targets with the trail at that point, and then whatever happens, then let's lock in right away and start, because those ticks add up in your account, man. Start those little ticks of profit will definitely add up as the contracts grow. So, and so good job, man. All right, got the first one off the table, so good. So for the actually for the spreadsheet for the individual trader, you nailed that again, so that's good. Because I don't take my trades for that. I take yours and Mitchell's.
And that's what I was nervous. Yeah, I was like, man, after you said that, it kind of, like I said, I didn't realize I was in the trade because I was looking back, because we were talking about when to enter, and I was trying to tell you I was going to front run it because of the support, the resistance up there, and then next to my nose, like I'm in the trade, I'm like, then you said, well, then you got the support down there, so not every stone is equal, so I'm like, crap. Oh man! But, thankfully it broke. It was a little nervous, and I was thought about. I was thinking about closing it too. When you said you were going to remove yours, because I was 0.5, have a point profit, and I was like, man, if this doesn't break, it's just going to bounce off this, right? So I was kind of thinking, but I was like, nah, I'll let it go. Win or lose at this point, I got to let it go. So thankfully it went my way.
Yeah, it worked out for you, which was great. My entry was quite a bit higher, though. That's the reason I didn't like that price action right there at the 920 candle, because my entry was quite a bit higher. And I don't. We've gotten burnt by them flashes before, where price kind of just seems like it's trying to push, and it kind of hesitates, and all of a sudden it flashes on us. So I just didn't like it for that, But as far as the zone goes, if you're going to front run, I think you did good there, because the fact we do fully expect the rejection there, and you got some of that, and that's a good thing with a 1 point target, is it doesn't take that much rejection to get a 1 point target, right? And that's usually locked in quickly because of that, especially in this kind of an area right here. So not a bad trade by any means. I don't have a problem with it. It was just where I wanted to trade out of this zone, it was just not working out for me. It was a little higher risk, but good job. I mean, it worked, So that'll work. So we'll just kind of hang out here. We got 5 minutes till the open at this point. So what should we be doing right now?
Nothing.
Okay. What else?
Don't enter a trade. Oh, I'm checking the news. Don't enter a trade.
There we go. Let's check some news here. A little bit of news this morning. No big deal. A little bit of employment claims are actually up a little bit. Good. The ISM manufacturing PMI is coming back out. That's at 10 o'clock this morning, so we'll definitely watch that. That's our big news for the rest of the day. Main thing for us is ISM non-manufacturing PMI, so that's a red flag. So our expectation's 51.1, so we'll see what happens here. I mean, it's definitely not till 10 o'clock, so we'll take a look for opportunities prior to that and then after that. Okay, so we keep that kind of on the horizon, that we do have that opportunity. We do have that news coming out at 10 o'clock. All right. Yeah, so Paul just wrote in the chat, yeah, he definitely a higher risk trade that he took there. And so he knows that, which is good. And that's part of this method as well, man. It's okay to take a higher risk trade based on our method, but just know it's a little bit higher risk. So instead of winning 80% of the time or whatever the number, 88, 90% of the time, it's a 50-50, or it's a 60% or whatever you feel that is, based on all the touches back in that zone is okay. Just as long as you know, hey, it's a higher risk trade, but the key is I've got a defined risk, that I'm not messing with. So I know I've got a 1 point stop there, which is $50 per contract. And I know I'm not going to mess with that, no matter how high of a risk trade it is. If it gets me, it gets me. It's part of the part of doing business, right? So it's just as long as we know that going in, then that's very, very good. That's all of trading is just not about pushing the buy and sell button. There's a lot more to it than that, from a psychology standpoint, a risk management standpoint, a money management standpoint. So if we can get all those pieces together, then we can definitely take trades, higher risk trades, knowing that what we're risking and what the results can come from that if we take a loss. So we always got to know what we're trading, what we're risking. So all right, so we actually have another zone actually.
905.
Yeah, there's actually another zone right there, 905, a hidden zone. So I'm going to move this box to that just to show that's the current zone we're actually looking at. It's another hidden zone there. Definitely kind of watch that, but I'm still not going to trade it. It's kind of sideways, even though could be to the long side. I'm wanting to get out of this area, and we're a couple minutes prior to the open, so I'm going to get out of this area. And Paul said I was just rolling the dice, man. Well,
yeah, man. Those people, those Corvette people.
Those what?
Corvette people.
Oh yeah, man. They like the adrenaline, man. They're adrenaline junkies. So
yeah.
They like
the rest of us that drive a Toyota Prius over here, we just take it slow.
Oh, whatever. The way you trade, you ain't driving no Prius if that's what you like to get in and out of trades too. So we all do. We all do. So, but anyway, that's all right, man. I mean, that's all good. That's part of it. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it as long as you're willing to accept the consequence. It's not a problem. So good job. So yeah, we're just hanging out now. We got about a minute till the open, so just chilling, just hanging out, just chilling out, watching price.
I feel a lot better. I think I'm back to 100%.
That's good, man. I'm glad to hear that. I know you were under the weather yesterday. You from that, our last few days actually, from that little food poisoning or whatever, and
yeah.
So I'm glad to hear
Fever got worse before it got better, but was finally 100%. By last night, I was good to go.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Paul says he likes living on the ragged edge. Okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, so we're kind of entering into this zone again. It's going to bounce out of it, but I'm not taking it. I mean, it's market open, right? It could bounce out of there and go long, which is bouncing nicely. But did you get into that trade?
No, I thought about it, but I did not. Just because, like you said, it's too close to both for a price. You go, and you got some right below that, and you got some below that. It's too much.
Yeah, and it's right here at market open. So even though it's going to bounce out of this zone, possibly, or it already did bounce, so you could have front run the zone and got a point pretty quick. But I'm not going to do that at 9:30 market open. We're going to be smarter than that. We're not willing to take that risk. We got a couple 3 points locked in this morning. No reason to blow them, and just to jump in a trade because you want to trade. And that's part of learning to be mature and sit on your hands and be patient, knowing that the market's going to give you other opportunities, man. So no reason to chase it just because it's open and you see price action. You don't get all excited and jump into something that you're going to regret, So let's just be patient and wait.
Let's see if it bounces off this other area.
Yeah, we got a zone down here, at 755, and that also comes from a previous zone that I've drawn up at. It's already been triggered once, but that's okay. 1355. There's a zone, There's actually another even tighter zone down here at 1255, but way down here at 2876.50. So it can definitely base out of here and get some strength to the long side, but not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna chase it at this point. I'll mark it up, but I'm not gonna chase it.
I was going to ask you, at 1255, I have that area marked. Is that a hidden zone because it is engulfed by the post candle instead of the pre-candle?
It's still a hidden zone, absolutely.
Okay, good. So it doesn't matter which candle engulfs it.
It's still
good. I have that something.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Yep. Look at that. It went right. You would have front run that. You might have been in.
I don't think I'd have been in on that one, but that's all right. It pushed right through this zone. It gave us an opportunity to jump on the trade early, but like I said, it was right at open, so we don't want to mess with that. But this is very bullish candle since it kind of engulfed all this sideways action right here with that wick. That can definitely be a very bullish sign there. So we'll just be patient and wait. Like I said, no reason to rush it. A lot of things going on right here. Let me kind of clean up my chart just a little bit here. We're getting into this hour of supply, this hour time zone supply right here. So we should see some rejection somewhere through here, and so we gotta be careful making a trade out of this right now.
Yeah, and I got a zone up there at the 615 candle.
Yeah, 615.
And the 630. Yeah, so I won't surprise if it gets up there.
Gets a little bit of rejection out of that. I'm going to mark that up because I might actually take that trade if the price gets up there because knowing that we're in the hourly supply. But I want, it's got to, not if it gets into this candle, I'm not going to make the trade. Because it's still, the volume's pushing high, which we know it's going to be, it's going to happen on the hourly time, on the open.
Be out right back, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm not going to get too anxious here. I'm going to be patient, even though we're going to get some rejection, and we know that. We're going to get some rejection out of this area right here. A lot of supply right there, but it's just being at the open still. We're only open 3 minutes, and we still have this massive volume spike, which we always get at the open. So we're going to be patient. Not going to jump on this trade, guys. Not going to jump on the trade. Let's be patient. 3 points this morning already. No reason to throw it back just because we're impatient. Okay, so hang out just a little bit. Let's watch price. I'd like to see this candle close here and then volume decrease into that upper zone there. Then I'll possibly short that zone. But let's wait and see how price wants to close out of this candle here. Excuse me. rejection, showing good signs there. I like that. Alright. So, let's see here. Probably going to bounce right here a little bit to the upside again. Find some support right here. Yeah. So the question is, where, if we were to trade out of this upper zone, where would that be at? And why would that be? Let's talk about that. A lot of opportunities short out of that. A lot of sell orders up in there. Definitely still bullish, but I think we're going to get some rejection here. But definitely get rejection up there. Alright, if I'm going to trade out of this zone up here to the top, if I'm not saying that I am, but if it's a potential, I'm going to do it right around 94 and a quarter, or excuse me, at 92 and a quarter, probably kind of front runway, some profile there. So let me mark up this. Go ahead and mark that up there as a potential area to short if price wants to get up there. We have everything else lined up. That might not be a bad area to throw in the trade there. So we'll at least put that in there and into that zone, and we'll see what happens. Okay. Not saying we're going to do anything right now. Just kind of watching. What do you think with a 28.92 and a quarter? Yep, Paul, that's it. That's where I just put that line there. A trigger line potential. We'll kind of watch price there and see what it wants to do. But you know, if it gets up into there, I don't like how. I think we're gonna get up there. I mean, I know that. I'm pretty positive we're gonna get up there. It's just whether we get up there with everything else lined up for our method. You know, we're gonna bounce here to the long side probably. Out of this zone right here in this support area we have right here. We're probably gonna bounce to the upside here. So potentially it could be potentially could be a trade to the long side here even, but I'm gonna wait just a little bit. Like I said, no reason. We're up 3 points this morning. Gotta wait. So we'll be patient here. Hey Wesley, hey, how you doing, man? Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for jumping in the chat. Sure do appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Sure do appreciate you, like I said, you letting us know you're here and jumping in. But ask any kind of question you'd like, and we're just kind of watching, taking our time for a few minutes. We're up 3 points this morning, so we're going to be patient. But you'll see kind of on our chart there, you'll see kind of our tools of the trade, so to speak, and kind of what we look for. We don't overcomplicate things. It's very, very simple. Kind of use that KISS method, right? We'll keep things simple here. So thanks for checking us out, man. Sure do appreciate it. Alright, so good area of bounce right here, potentially to go up to our area. A lot of support right in here. I'm not going to over jump it here. Yeah, hey, absolutely, man. Hey, yeah. We've been live streaming now for 30 days, so we're new. I mean, doing the whole live stream thing, but I want you to see that the method works. Been doing the method for 20 years, so we know it works. It works very well because it uses the basic fundamentals of the market, right? Which is, price, action, volume, support and resistance, supply and demand, and order flow. Those are the fundamentals of the markets that will never change, ever. And if those change, that means the market's gone and we got bigger issues to deal with. So as long as we can learn a method that is based on the fundamentals, we'll always be able to trade this market, and you can make a living doing it. So, yeah, man, support and resistance is very important, and it goes hand in hand with the tools that we have on here. And so, thanks for checking us out, and we'll definitely talk through more of that. Oh yeah, man, absolutely. I'm sorry you're having a hard time with support and resistance. It can be confusing at first, but you'll get it. I have full confidence that you can get it, man. The very fact that you can use the chat tells me, and you can type, tells me you'll get support and resistance. Not a lot to it. It's very simple. No reason to overcomplicate it. A lot of people try to overcomplicate it, and it's just not complicated. So we want to keep it very simple, and because simple works, that's the beautiful thing about it. Simple works. So in our you'll find some videos here on our channel that we go into detail on each of the tools here. So we have a price action, which is the candlesticks. We have a price action video, a volume video, and a support and resistance video dedicated just to that for what we look at with examples. So definitely take some time to check that out. I think it's 10-12 minute video, not long, pretty simple, but we are pretty short. I mean, we keep everything simple, man, and that's the beauty of the market. The more simple you can keep it, the better you're actually going to trade. And that's anybody that's been trading for a long time and been very successful will ultimately come back and tell you the more simple you keep it, the more successful you'll be. And that's why you see our tools of the trade are all the fundamentals of the market. So learn those fundamentals of the market, and you will always be successful if you can control your emotions. And that's the other piece of it, obviously. These are the actual tangibles, but learning to control your emotions is everything. So, but along with our tools here and controlling your emotions, you will be successful at trading. Yeah, the problem I have, there's lots of higher highs or lower lows. I get confused. That's what I'm trying to understand, because this is large once and there's a small one. I get that. Yeah, completely get that. But support and resistance actually comes down to, in our example here, because we use a 5-minute candle, you can get down to a very micro support and resistance, because every candle, the high and low, is technically a support and resistance, right? So you can break it down as low as you want to get it. But what you'll see on my charts, just for visual purposes, and that's what you'll see on my chart. One of the only indicators I use besides volume, and I only use real-time indicators, right? There's only 2 of them, and that's going to be the volume that you see at the bottom. That's real time, okay? And then the green dotted lines you see here, I'll encompass those real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. So for this example, this big green one here I'm drawing, let me get rid of this zone so you don't get confused. So in this this blue box here, on this top green line, that's a resistance line, okay? The green is resistance in our situation here, and then this red one below that is going to be a support line, okay? And that's actually an indicator that comes with any charting software will have this indicator, but we use NinjaTrader just because it's very simple and easy to use. But it's just called a swing indicator. That's all it is a swing indicator on a 5-minute, and all that does is visually point out support and resistance areas based on how strong you want those to be. Meaning that in this swing indicator, I've just had it set at the strength of what's called 2. Means it's only looking at 2 candles out. So in this scenario, after 2 candles is formed, if it hadn't made a new low, it becomes a support area. Same way to the top side. After 2 candles are formed, if it hadn't made a new high, it becomes a resistance area. So that's the reason you see these green dotted lines and these red dotted lines. That's a visual of support and resistance on a minor scale. So we trade 5 minutes here. So we're not looking at big hourly charge as far as our trades because we want 1 point, okay? And what you'll learn if you decide to hang around with us, which we hope you do, because we sure do appreciate you being here. We're a new channel, obviously, and like I said, we're still trying to figure out the whole live stream thing and making it fun for people and entertaining and educational for people. But one thing we won't change is simplicity. That will always stay. But so we try to identify this stuff ahead of time, and what you'll see as far as support and resistance go, it goes hand in hand with creating supply and demand zones. So from the higher high, even for what you were talking about with the higher highs and the lower lows there, those are by definition support and resistance. So that's the only way that higher high can be created, or that lower low can be created, is a break of support and resistance areas. So that's what the green and red lines help depict, man. So yeah, hang in there, man. You can do it. You know, like I said, just for the fact that you can sit here and talk about and type in the chat tells me you're not gonna have any problem picking it up, man. Just keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. There's a lot of things out there, man. There's a lot of things out there, and sometimes they can get overcomplicated, but they're very, very simple. Let's see, the last support's holding. So let me see here. The last support of, yeah, I mean, on this big candle right here at 935, what you're referring to, yeah, that's support right now. That's acting as support. What might become new support here in just a second after another candle's formed will possibly be this 945 candle. Okay? Yeah, I mean, last resistance became support. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely it did at some point. It sure did. So that's how it's going to always happen. It's going to become, once a resistance is broken and price closes above that, and it can stay above that, it absolutely becomes support at that point. You bet. So the best way to look at, the best analogy I know to use it and it is a very common analogy most people use, but visually it helps me, is the fact that your resistance is your ceiling of your house, and your support's your floor of your house. So if you got multiple levels of your house, so if you bust through you go up the stairs up to the second floor and you hang up there, well, now that was resistance, that now becomes a support area, right? So we're going to hang up there. In the same way, if we decide to come down and go to the basement, we're breaking our support, but now we got the upper floors are going to be our resistance now. So we have new areas of support and resistance. So every time we break one of those and hang down below that, that opposite becomes what that is, meaning that support can become resistance and resistance becomes support. Excuse me. So yeah, man, absolutely. Thanks for the question, man, and please, anything you want to ask, we'll try to explain it. I can tend to kind of jumble up some things, so excuse me for that, but I just want everybody to understand that trading is not difficult. We make it a lot harder than it is. Been doing this for a very long time, 20 years, so I've been very successful at it. We've got some new traders that you'll hear talk as well, Soto and Mitchell, and they're new to trading, very new, but they know our method, they know this method and this method only, and they've made thousands of % in their account, so they've done extremely well based on just this method. So they kind of bring a different, I'm here to ask lots of dumb questions, so excuse me. No, man. I know people say it, but there really is no dumb question. I mean, there really isn't when it comes to trading, because there's so much out there to confuse people. There's no dumb question. And you're going to find a lot of my answers are very elementary. And that's on purpose. That's how it's intended, because that's what the market is. The market only does three things, and that's one thing we got to understand. It only does three things: up, down, or sideways. So why overcomplicate it and add all these different things to that? Let's just be fundamental, man. Let's just be fundamental. And you're going to find when you get the opportunity to talk to some big hedge fund managers, which I'm friends with, and just to let you know, I trade a lot like they do, but you're going to find that A lot of those guys are very simple. They don't have all these fancy indicators. They don't have all this stuff on the charts, and they're very simple. And that's one way I think we've been very successful. So we stay very simple here. So definitely no dumb questions, sir. Ask all you can, man. Ask all you can. So so we're here every morning from 9 to 11, so, and maybe 11:15, depending on if we're in a trade or what have you. So yeah, man, join us. Ask every question you can ask, man. I'd love to have you part of the team here. So thanks again for checking us out, man. All right. Okay, so the last candle that it says, okay, if you may please explain what is happening now with the last candle. How is it going, for example, and is it a support now, etc.? Yeah, so I'm assuming you're talking about this 950 candle. Is that right? The big green candle? It did hit resistance. That's correct. 100% correct. So the 940 candle, which you'll see the top of this green line right here, or top of this candle is forming that 3 dotted line. That is absolutely resistance now. Okay, and so this green candle is just simply respecting the resistance at this point. Showing that what that tells you is there's sellers up there. Okay, there's people selling the market there. Okay, and as you kind of learn a little bit more here and hang out with us, you'll see all the market is an auction process. Okay, that's really all it is an auction process. There's a price everywhere, and there's buyers and sellers all over the market, and they're either accepting price or rejecting price. Okay, so right here you see anytime you have resistance, it's a rejection of price. Okay, that just means the sellers are saying, no, man, we're not going any higher. We're pushing price back down, and that's what you have. Excuse me. That's what you have a visual representation of right there. So you're exactly right. That 950 candle, the big green candle right here that I have my cursor on, that is actually support. That's accepting the resistance there. So we're in between the support and resistance area right now, because we have support on the big opening candle at 935 way down here. That's actual support. Okay, that would be our floor. If you would, if you can kind of use that analogy, that would be our floor on this big 935 candle. And our ceiling will be at 940 at this high with this green line. So we're in between the support and resistance right now. Okay? And it's really as simple as that. No reason to overcomplicate it. It's that simple. And that's the beautiful thing about it. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I know how these fundamentals work, and you'll learn how these fundamentals work if you don't already know, and you can be very successful at this game here if you know the basics and the fundamentals, and you're willing to wait for them. That's the other side of them. If you're willing to wait, I mean, you can ask. Paul's brand new to trading as well, and he's here every morning, and he's done very, very well, very well. I've talked to him outside of the room here, and I know Paul, and he's been very, very successful. So, and he's just a fundamental guy, fundamentals as well. He didn't know anything about trading until he came into this method for the most part. I think he did some pretty stocks a long time ago, but as far as the method goes, he started this, and he does very well. He has done very well. Let me put it that way. But yes, sir. So no dumb questions, man. Please keep asking, and I'll explain as much as I can without stumbling all over myself, and hopefully I don't confuse you, because I'm not the best speaker in the world, as you could tell, but you don't have to be to know how to trade. That's the good thing about it. So I'm definitely not making my living as a speaker for sure, but I do as a trader, and that's what's great about it. So yeah, man, thanks a lot. I sure appreciate it. Because a lot of people might not ask that question, but they're wanting to know those answers. So I can promise you, if you're thinking of the question, other people are as well. So Paul said I couldn't even spell trading. Yeah. All right, Paul, I know better than that. But thanks for making my point. Appreciate it. So yeah, so we're looking, to possibly, we're in between support and resistance right now, Wesley. So just keep watching it. We'll test it here in a minute. Probably one way or the other, we're going to test it, and So we'll just keep hanging and see what price does right here. We're in a area of supply, what's called supply right now, with that red area you see on my chart. That's actually drawn from an hourly time frame. So that just means, what that means is we have a lot of sellers in this area. That's exactly what that means. We have a lot of sellers. So so we're not taking any trades yet. We're just being patient. The trades will present themselves, and when they present themselves, they're pretty obvious. So we'll just kind of watch it. All right. So Soda's kind of stepping away there. Soda, you still there, man? Or you eating your breakfast this morning right now?
No, sorry, I was on a call.
Oh, okay. All right. No worries. Yeah. No worries.
So I'm done now, but I may have to jump on another call soon. So if I do, I'll just let you know.
Yeah. No worries, man. No worries. Yeah. Cool. All right. Cool. So yeah, man, we're just patient at this point, waiting for an opportunity. I mean, we could get definitely some bounce right here, which we are going to get off of this old previous resistance has become in support. That's what you're seeing right here happen in the bounce. That's where you see this bounce. This old resistance that I had drawn in this blue box here, this blue square rectangle box, is now acting as support, right? So I have a job too, so I only have 19 minutes. Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. So appreciate you being here at the time you have, and hopefully we can help you we can hopefully clear up some questions you might have, man, for sure. But definitely, when you got some downtime this evening or after work or whenever it is, come onto our channel there and watch some of those videos where we talk about kind of the tools and the method, and you can kind of learn the price action video, volume video, the support and resistance video, and a supply and demand video. I don't have order flow video in there yet because it's a little more complicated, and we'll bring that in later, but we got videos on the 4 tools anyway, so yeah, take some time to definitely check those out, and hopefully that'll clarify some stuff, because I keep them very simple in there, and so watch them a few times, and you might say it can't be this simple, but it really is. So don't let your mind fool you. It really is that simple. So but yeah, man, I appreciate you checking us out today, man. Sure do. Thanks for the questions, and we hope to see you here in the morning as well. So so if you have to head out here pretty soon, have a great day, man, and we look to seeing you tomorrow. I want to see where you say is entry or trading opportunity. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll look here. We're going to bust in. We're pushing this resistance right here, right? So we expect a lot of rejection out of this area up here. You'll see I have a potential. I'm not saying it's there yet, but we have a potential entry on our supply zone right up here. It's getting approached. We got to be careful for it, just because of the price action, but there is potential there. So and we'll go ahead and mark those up ahead of time. That's one thing we do. We mark up ahead of time. Breaking resistance, if I am right. Yep, absolutely. You tested resistance right here. You broke above it, but we haven't closed above it. So for resistance to truly be broken above, we want price to close above that. Okay, so we've tested it. We've pushed through it, like you said, but we've come right back down. So all we've done is kind of punched a hole in the ceiling. But we're not above the ceiling at this point. That's, if you just kind of visualize you taking your fist and punching a hole in the ceiling, that's all that represents right there. But our ceiling's still intact. Okay, so that's kind of a way to think through that. But once we kind of close above that, then at that point we might say, okay, we're stepping up into the ceiling there, and we're going to use it now for support. But we're not there yet. We just pushed through it just for briefly. Okay, so it's still considered resistance at this point. Okay. So let's see here.
Where are you looking for a trade here into this?
Yeah, I mean, I've got I got a 92.25. So do I have a potential area to go short out of that zone that we have drawn back at 630.
Mm-hmm.
The 625 zone. I have potential area to go short there. You could have front run this obviously and done well, but I didn't front run the zone. The volume's decreasing, which is good. It's pushing the resistance, which is good. We're definitely in the hourly time frame of supply still, so expect to get resistance here, but it hadn't gotten to where I'm comfortable taking this trade. Remember, we had 10 o'clock news, right?
Yeah.
10 o'clock news, so we knew that was coming, so we didn't get into a trade at this point. But look at that, it's pretty bad apparently, isn't it?
Yeah, look at that.
So that's to kind of let everybody understand this is why we don't take news trades. That's why we don't let anybody take news trades here, so or we don't want them to. Look at that. I mean, it must be. Let me. Oh yeah, so we're negative 52. We were expecting 55, so we're negative 52. So are down 52 and a half. So that's just more bad news. That's all that is, right? So definitely not trading right here. Yeah. Wow. Exactly. Wow. That's what happened. That's the reason we don't trade news right here. There's a perfect reason why we don't trade news. So let's kind of see though. Let's not get memorized by that move. Let's go ahead and see where's our opportunity. So let's look at because all these, one thing you'll learn based on supply and demand, these prices move to look to areas for a reason. They don't. It's just not arbitrary. Prices move for a reason. So let's look and see where our next potential area of stop is at based on this hourly that I'm pulling up here. Okay, this is the hourly time frame I'm pulling up. Our next area actually of a zone, I'm gonna go ahead and draw this zone out, is right here at 9 o'clock. It's a hidden zone at 9 o'clock, all the way back on August 28th. So we can go all the way back here. So let's see if it respects that and gives us an opportunity to trade out of it because it's coming up to that. So let me see here. Let's get down a 5-minute chart here. Get back to a 5-minute. Pull this back in. So yeah, look at it. It's right there. It's going to bounce off our zone. You guys see that? It's pretty cool. It's going to bounce through our zone somewhere from here. It's going to bounce out of this area somewhere. So we got to find, even though we have the area we know it's probably going to bounce or reject from, we got volume popping real high still, so I'm not ready to take the trade, but we just know we're going to get some rejection find some support out of this area here. On this zone that's been drawn here based on the hourly time frame of a demand zone. So we're bouncing, which is nice. So I'm gonna watch it and just decide, okay, where would I have gotten in on this trade? So let me kind of go back here and look at my zone a little bit tighter now since we know it's a good zone. Let's see, do I have an opportunity to trade or have I missed the opportunity already? So bear with my chart. I know I'm moving in a lot, but just bear with it if you don't mind. All right, I'll put a marker in where I would consider trading here if price was to get there. That's probably a pretty decent one right there. So let me mark this up so I can identify it. Not in a hurry here, not chasing trades, not worried about it going off and leaving us, not doing any of that. So you don't see me in a big hurry or scramble because price gives us the opportunities, man. Well, I mean, the market gives us the opportunities to trade. So we just have to be patient, wait for them to come to us. I'd rather have the right trades than chase every trade, right? I'd rather. I mean, that's how I've been very successful at doing this, and that's how Soto and Paul and Mitchell, all these guys are successful trading because we're not chasing everything. We're waiting for price to come to us. So this is an area down here at 60. I'd be interested in taking this trade here if the rest of our tools line up. Okay, so we'll watch it. Knowing we're going to get some bounce out of here, so I'm not going to chase it. But we knew we were going to get some support and demand here because this is a support area here based on an hourly time frame. This is a area of demand, okay, which is also support. Okay, so I know that might be kind of confusing right now, but it will clear up. I promise you, it will clear up pretty quick. How do you expect it will bounce from here? Because it's coming into an area of what we call demand. Okay, the market moves off of supply and demand, just like the real world. Okay, that's all the market is supply and demand. I mean, it will turn around here from here. Yeah, it will briefly. I don't know how long, but it's definitely going to get us some rejection here. I think it's going to find some area of support through here. I mean, obviously it's bouncing. If you take a look at it, it's bouncing out of this area. So we would have had opportunities with our 1 point to trade that, but we're not trading it right now. What?
Okay.
Yeah.
I took a trade at, I was trying to find the zone to tell you.
Okay.
Hold on. I don't even know what day it's from, but...
Just tell me the price. What's the price?
Yep. Oh, the price. Okay, hold on. Sorry.
That's all right, man.
All right, that was scrolling. From 63.75 to 61 flat. That's one zone right there, and the other one is from 60.75 to 54 flat.
Okay. All right. So that's just, did you take a trade you said already?
Yeah, I did, and I got the point, and then it ran, and then it came back. So I locked in, the first set, the second set, but the third set on the runner, it came back and just kind of take out of it.
Okay. So that's a good example, though, of why we have small targets, right? We knew this area was going to create an opportunity for a trade to the long side. We just didn't know where yet, but he took a trade into that, made his point, and actually got his second position there, so he made some money, which was good. But even though prices after the fact, it looks like it would have blown right through you, well, it didn't. It actually gave him his opportunity. We had an opportunity there to trade, but missed it.
And now it just went to the second zone.
Oh, did you?
So,
okay.
Yeah, now it's bouncing up the second zone. So, like I said, they're both kind of back to back. So it's kind of a big zone, I guess. But
Yeah.
I broke it down into two zones in a way, and it was respect the first zone. Right at I entered at 68 flat, and then on the 10:05 candle. And so now the second, this current candle, the 10:10 candle, it's in my second zone already. Now, the question is, are we going to get a bounce out of this area? And am I going to get into my trade? My trade is sitting at 57.25.
Okay.
So,
all right. And your 57.25 zone, just so I can kind of explain this for everybody, is based off a 5-minute chart or an hourly chart? Tell me that.
5 minutes.
A
5 minutes.
5 minutes. All right. So let me go ahead and scroll back. So guys, bear with me here. We're not in a hurry here. Not trying to trace the trade. We're going to get opportunity. So let's just not get too excited here. So I want you to show me. So you're probably in the trade now, aren't you? At 35.
No, I removed it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, show me. I'm
we're
gonna try
good.
to. Oh, shoot, I gotta fix my
Go
chart.
to the candle. Yep.
Where do
Let me
you?
go find here.
Yeah, find it for me so I can kind of show everybody where you're talking about. Because you're talking about on the 5 minute. When we get this kind of a big move, I usually go to the hour time frame to look first because that's our bigger time frames, right? So we want to chase the hourly. We want to look at the hourly. So I want to do that. So where would be my kind of next stop here from an hourly time frame? I kind of want to look at that. It would be over here. Guys, don't get overwhelmed by what we're doing here. This will explain itself, and you'll find out it's very simple. What we're doing
this
here,
is
we're just having
August
to do it in real
28th.
time, which is going a little quicker. Yeah, I see your August 28th because on the hourly time frame, that's where that was at on the hourly. So,
Nice.
so the
August
bottom-
28th, 9:40 candle, and then the 9:30 candle.
Okay, yeah, that's the bottom of this, so that's good, yeah. So that's going to be at the bottom of that right there. Nice. All right,
Yeah.
so I've marked that up. So I've got two areas, and my next area, if it breaks through that, my next area of trade will be at 45 and a quarter, or 44 even. Will actually be the top part of that next trade based on an hourly time frame. So, and again, I know, Wesley, this is probably we're going really fast here, what we're doing, and it's just it's real time, but it's the same process over and over. And like I said, don't get overwhelmed at it because you will learn it very, very, very quickly. I think you'll be surprised how quickly you learn it, and like I said, you're gonna be like, you're gonna realize it's just not that difficult. So But all we're doing is finding areas of demand right now, and and demand is strictly, like I said, supply and demand is the basics of the market because it's an auction. But it works just like in real life here. So when we move, when you see my chart move left on price, all I'm doing is trying to look at history and where price has bounced from, where it's proven to have areas of big sellers and big buyers based on institutions, and that's where we want to get into those trades. So at those areas, because that's where the big boys are still sitting, ready to take price the opposite direction. So that's what we're looking for when we move to the left side. Those are the areas of supply and demand. And again, when you get some time this evening, please check out those videos of supply and demand, support and resistance, all that. Like I said, it won't take too much of your time, but I think it'll help kind of what I'm saying now. It'll kind of make a little more sense when it's done on a slower scale. But it's as simple as that, man. That's all there's to it. Not a whole lot. And it's when I look to the left of the price, that's all I'm trying to do is find where areas of where price had shown to the long side from there, where the auction people were buying up from the auction. Okay, it says yes, but that is what I mean, trying to understand what it looks like in those areas. Okay, those areas of supply and demand. Well, what it's going to look like, it's either going to be what we define an area of supply and demand. There's criteria for that, how that's defined, and it's based on the candles, and that's what you'll learn in the supply and demand video is, okay, this area is defined because of this candle and what it looks like and what the support and resistance looks like inside that area. There's a definition, and there's a try to find the best way to say it. There's criteria that each of these areas have to meet to be able to create the supply and demand area that you're talking about. So in real time, right now, the body, like the candle, has to be 50% or less of the body, and it has to have to break the previous high out of there. Out of an area of support or resistance, it has to break the previous high or the previous low, things like that. And the best way to explain that is just kind of to watch the video, because it's not very long, but we definitely have criteria for what creates these zones that we're looking for, and it's based off of the movement of the candles and the support and resistance in those candles, and the price action out of those candles. How does price go long or does it go short? It doesn't do it with good intention, meaning fast or slow, because we want price to move out of these areas very fast. That's what creates the zones, meaning that in this example here, even though it's not a great because it's a news, we had this red zone drawn up already, right? Because it was an area of supply, meaning there's a lot of selling right there. So what we see is confirmation right here is in this big red down candle, even though it was a news trade, what we see there is the fact that the big institutions were sitting orders right there, knowing if it's bad news, we're going to shoot everything short here. Okay, and that's what happened. Okay, we're selling. We already had this area predefined. It was already drawn up. We knew this was going to be an area of selling if anything should happen, and it did. Okay, but that area was drawn because of a supply and demand criteria to create that zone already, and it was done based off of candles and support and resistance based on previous history. So and there's a lot of them in here, and it's the reason it's kind of hard to explain just at this moment, but there's a lot of different areas of supply and demand, and maybe I can kind of, and I'm just kind of watching the trade at the same time talking with you, so I'm trying to do that at the same time. But let me do this. Let me kind of, alrighty, that big down candle's kind of squinching my chart up a little bit here, but let me ask you this. So I'm gonna ignore this trade for a few minutes here, and I'm gonna try to explain this for you. So excuse my chart. I'm gonna try to go to this. Can you see my chart now? I kind of have it zoomed in on this area right here. where I have these two pink arrows and these. You see that? Let me know when you see that, because I think there's a little bit of a delay. So let me know when you can see that, Wesley. I'll try to explain something to you
here. And BK, I think you already said this, but you know, the video that we made, I think it's just ideal because it goes slow and it breaks down, you know, and you can take the time to watch it. So if you get a chance to, if Wesley gets a chance to watch it, you know, I think that'll be very beneficial.
Absolutely agree, 100%. Yeah. So so yeah, Wes, if you get a chance to watch that, but okay, you have to go now. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, but this little area right here, yeah, no worries, man. I'm sorry. Watch that video and let's talk about it in detail tomorrow. Okay. Have a great day, man, and we'll talk about it a little more in detail tomorrow, sir. Thanks a lot. Have a great day, buddy. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and just get back to this trade.
Yeah. Good job. I think the going back to, I think your idea of creating those videos, those lessons was great because you can watch those videos, take your time. You know, you're not in the middle of trying to make a trade or look at the market, or you get distracted by, you know, market moves. You can, you know, sit there and watch it, you know, over and over again. Then you can come to the, you know, real time and then watch it, you know, practice there, right?
So, right, you're absolutely right. All right, so I'm gonna look to take this trade here. I'm gonna take a look, take a little bounce. Well, let me see here. Let me look at my order flow real quick and see if I want to do that.
What are you looking at?
Well, I've got this zone. I mean, this line drawn up. I had drawn up prior to price ever getting down in here. So and we've created an inside candle there at 10:15, and that's kind of right around that price I had picked up at 59.75, right? 60 area. So I'm just kind of looking to see if I want to try to get into a trade to the long side here, but I'm gonna wait for it. It could definitely bounce here. I think it possibly will here in a few minutes bounce, but I'm gonna wait for it, get a better opportunity. I want to come out of that area and then maybe look to retrace back into that area for a trade. So I'm going to hold off on it for right now.
All right.
Did you already take a trade?
No. I only took the one at 10:05. I haven't taken one down here.
Okay.
So definitely. Well, I'm sitting at. I got a trade at 55 flat. Unfortunately, it just hit me. Did not pick me up.
Gotcha, yeah, didn't get you in, okay.
Yeah, so that was a little too low, but I had to do it. It was a wide zone, and, you know, just figured I need to be a little conservative towards the bottom of this, you know, big move, right? So, guess to take off, unfortunately.
Yeah, no worries, man, no worries. Yep. So I'm glad that Wesley came in. I like all the questions, you know, and that's gonna help everybody. I think there's people want to ask questions, but they might just be a little timid to do that. But so I appreciate you, Wesley, for asking those questions. And yeah, and that's a good thing about this. You can watch it over and over and kind of make sure we understand the concepts and what I'm trying to explain here. And I think, like Soto said there, we watch the videos in the channel, and then you come back and watch one of these things. It was just all those puzzle pieces that are hanging out there will all of a sudden come together, you know, and you'll start seeing the big picture pretty quickly. So definitely watch some videos on the channel there. They're not very long, but they're, like I said, they're very slow, which is good. And the examples are easy to be seen there. And you'll be able to start picking those things up in a real live market, and being able to mark these zones ahead of time. That's key, man. That's big. You know, we don't do this after the fact. You know, so we do these things in real time here. You know, and I think that's a really cool thing, right? I mean, so many people do things after the fact, but we just don't do that. We do everything in real time. And we have these zones drawn up in real time, and we look for trades out of these zones when they present themselves in real time, not after the fact. So, very cool. But yeah, that bounce was really nice out of that 60 area. Just didn't take it. I would look for price to come back into this area before I would take the trade, but we had price marked up where we thought it was going to bounce, and it sure did. It bounced up nicely at 60. But I would look, because of news and all that, I'd be looking for a short trade back into an area here to the long side. But let me kind of zoom out to see if I have any short possibilities quicker than that. But let me, before we kind of get going, let me, we got a zone, we can draw this zone right here now at 10:15. You agree with that, Soto? Soto, it must be on a call.
Sorry. Nope. Let's see. 10:15?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep, definitely inside. And golf, it's going to be golf with Kansas, so good in its own.
Yeah, so we can
So
definitely
yeah, kind of glad you brought that up. I was thinking of trading out of my old position at 663 flat, actually.
Oh,
But
right.
maybe it's a little too jump. That's probably a little too far out. So yeah, I'll jump in at 6275.
You'll jump in at 75, so you'll front run it? Okay.
Yeah, I'll run it.
Okay.
Yeah, 6275.
Okay.
Just because if you look at where the bottom of the 1005 candle was,
Alright.
I think we have some really good rejection there. So
I agree. Yep. So we'll kind of watch through that as price gets, if it wants to come back through there.
yeah.
But now let's talk about where potential short trades at here. So let's start looking for potential short trades ahead of time here. So let's start looking at some zones. Obviously we got some zones up here at the 75 area. That could be a rejection. Same way with 77, 75 could be a good rejection. So let's kind of watch and see if we got any of those zones here that we could mark up. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I like 74 is a good area to trade out of, but I like the I definitely like that 75 even. It's off of one of our old zones over here. You'll see that was drawn up, that price pushed through with that news trade. We have a previous area of support right here at 74 even. So I wouldn't even argue the fact if you wanted to take a trade there, you know, but I'm going to wait to kind of let it get into my zone right here at 75 even before I look to take a trade.
I have the sun starting at 75 flat to 76.5.
Yep, exactly. Same zone. Yep, same thing. So I'll be looking for price to kind of show me, hey, volume's slowing down, the candles are getting shorter, you know, all this kind of stuff. I'd like to see all of our tools. Let me try to move some of these in right here. I'd like to see all these tools right here to line up. Okay. Once these tools start to line up into an area of opportunity, that's when we want to start looking for our trade. Okay. So let me kind of pull those down a little bit so everybody can see them. Okay. So these are things we want to start looking at. Volume going down. I'll draw a line for that to help explain it. Alright, so volume's going down here. I just drew a line down on volume. Price is going up, but as long as volume's not spiking above these areas, that just means it's going up on less volume, less buyers. You know, not real buyers. A lot of retailers pushing it up here, but we're looking for it to reject out of this area of old demand. Okay, it's now can be flipped into a supply zone. So we're going to look at that. If volume stays low here, and we might look to get in a short trade right here at 75 for a bounce out of that. I mean, I don't even argue you might even be able to front run that 75, right? Because that area of support at 74.
Yeah, you got.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a bit over here. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You have a lot of things you can do that. I've already front running.
You're already in a trade?
No.
Oh, so you're at 375, huh?
No, I thought about it. I think I'm going to be patient, go to 75. Jump maybe front run to 75.
Yeah, I think you could actually front run 75. Get in at 4 3/4, right? 74, 75. I think you could actually get there and be safe. I think you'll. Willing to take the trade, and if we lose, we lose. But I think that's a very good area to see a bounce out of it. So willing to take the trade if it presents itself there for sure.
Yeah. As long as you understand, like you said, you understand the risk.
Order pending.
Take it. For me, I'm up for the day. I got 2 positive trades.
Uh-huh.
And I'm out for the week, obviously.
Uh-huh.
That should always be obvious to everyone, but I never really know. I'm just kidding. Calculating
We're calculating all your points.
Yeah. So I'm at 38.75, so I can lose 20, 50 points. No problem.
No problem.
In a calculated risk, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
If I say calculated one more time, I swear.
That's all right. Good job.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to stand out for a minute. I had to like sniper be quiet. There's a longhorn that was like maybe 7 feet from me, staring down the place. So.
Well, you just want to know what's going on in there.
Yeah.
That thing's challenging me. I'm about to take it out.
I know. Yeah, I was like, dude, if that thing goes over here, it's over.
Stop filled.
Oh wow! Did you see that spike? Wow.
So,
that's all right. That happens, right?
Man.
All right. That was a big spike right there, but let's see here. Good opportunity to still take the trade based on previous.
You look at
75 there. Good spike right there. I hate that happened, but that's a good spike.
Order pending.
So I'll put in a position right here, still at 75. I mean, excuse me, at 77, 75. I'll put in position if it wants to hold. It might. If it wants to come back up there and get us, that's okay. But you can't control those little spikes like that. They happen. But no bid. That's the reason we have a 1 point stop, man. Very important.
Very important.
All right. So still net up 1 point for the day from the trade earlier. Even with the 2 point stop like that, it went up and got me. I'm still net 1 profit. So that's good. And that's the big thing we try to do here. But I will take another opportunity. If it gets me in here, I'll take this trade and bump me.
Order filled.
All right,
Stop
let's
filled.
stop me out again. So price is running. So I'm done. I'm going to be done here. I'm not going to trade anymore. So I just went to negative 1 point for the day. So I'm not going to trade anymore right there. Dang, I think it's going to bounce really nice out of here. Shoot. But I'm not going to chase it. Look at that. That's why you don't chase price right there.
Yep, I'm in it, and I'm trading. Yes. Nice.
Where'd you get in at?
It's covered. Gosh, I hate when it's covering this red thing. 81.75.
Got in at 81.75. Nice, yeah. So you got your point and you got your.
Yep, and I'm trailing. Yep.
Good job, man. Yeah. Price just went
here.
deeper in there. Good job. Price decided to go deeper into that zone, and that's okay. So you found a good area. That's a good area to get back in, to the short side, and and we just I just kind of front run it a little bit, thinking it would bounce a little bit more quicker, and it didn't. So that's okay.
Yeah.
No big deal, man. Took the loss. That's part of the game. Not a problem.
Yep, I was front running just for people to know. I was looking at. We have that zone up there that goes from 82.25 to 84.25.
Yeah, let me draw that real quick for everybody. I see it. Yeah.
So that's the one I was using. So I'm 5 points running right now. I'm running.
Nice.
I'm running 2 contracts. So right now
you're running 2 contracts left at 5 points. Yep. But you've already knocked out a lot of contracts, so that's good.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a good area. That's we don't know that going in hand, but that is an area that I didn't have drawn, even though it is a zone that qualifies. I just didn't have it drawn. I didn't think it was going to get that high. I just didn't think it would get that high, but it did. Yeah.
So yeah, I lost. I lost that. What's the price at? 74.5, I think.
Uh-huh.
That's when
that was the first move.
Yeah. lost it.
Yeah, that's all right.
It happens here.
That's part of the game, right? You're gonna lose, right?
Yeah.
If you can't handle the loss, definitely don't don't trade, because you're gonna lose.
Yep.
So I'm gonna mark up both of these losses here, because that's what we do. We don't hide them.
No.
So actually, both of those trades right there just actually made me go 1 point into the negative there. So I'm done for the trade today. Big spike up. So you've got into a nice position there. I hate that I didn't get into that, but that's okay. I'm trading for the channel here, so I'm not going to overdo it. So good job.
Thank you. I'm wondering, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think we're going to go down here?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do. I think we're going short. I think I would hold that position if you could.
Okay.
You're up pretty good for the day, right?
I
definitely just
I'm good for the day no matter what. So
you've locked in those first two positions.
The first two, yep.
So now you just have what, 4 or 5 contracts running at this point?
I got two contracts running. I run out on 5 and a quarter, 5 points and a quarter right now. They're sitting there.
I'd hold it. I do believe it's gonna. I mean, you're up quite a bit for the day, so I do believe price is going to go back down. So I think might go sideways here for a few minutes, kind of respect some of our old zones that it blew through. It'll come back and respect those now, and I think we're going to go down here. So I'm done trading for the channel for the day, because I gave back 3 of my points and took a 1 point deficit. So I'm not going to trade anymore. Just take the 1 point loss and be done with it. But so we'll talk through this for the next 30 minutes and watch it, but I just feel because of negative news and how much we've been going down and all the negatives that's going on, that this is going to continue to push down. I rejected out of our zone nicely there, that you got into. I pushed through a couple of mine, but you got into that zone. You already took out your first 2 targets. So I would just let this third one run, man. I'd move it all the way down to the bottom here at 55 personally. I don't know where's your third target sitting at right now?
Let's see. Hold on.
Is it below this 55?
It's sitting down at 28.57.
57, yeah. So I mean that's fine. You can leave it there. Or, I think eventually.
I'll move it down. What do you want to do?
Well, I was gonna say at least move it down to 55. At the low here, because it might not happen right now, but throughout the day, it's gonna probably push below that 55 low from the news. So that's the reason. Wow, that was loud.
Sweet.
Yeah. So
just to kind of show you my risk to reward. So I kind of managed this morning a little bit different than I've been doing, because I figured that at my first trade I need to get a little more 1 point. I want to get more of my 1 point target in and a little less of the run just in the first trade of the day.
Hold on. Explain that again. You wanted to do what?
Okay. All right. Sorry. I'm not very good at explaining this.
No, you are. I'm just trying to make sure I understand what you're saying.
I have 22 contracts in trading.
Right. 22 contracts. Right.
For my first trade, I do want to have some sort of trail running, just, in case you get lucky, you get a little run, cool. But I want to lock in, I got 3 targets. My first target is majority of my points getting locked in at 1 point profit.
Right.
You run profit stop. My second target is at a 2 point profit.
Right.
And my third is the runner. That if it comes back and bites me, it just I lock in a quarter.
A tick.
But if it goes running and if I lock it in, I can get whatever number of points I'll eventually get there. So I managed that a little different this morning to be able to lock in more at my 1 point profit, and less on the second and third targets, just because it's my first trade of the day. Because what I don't want is to get let's say I get the one, I get a trade and I lock in the 1 point, but it comes back and I only lock in the tick for the rest. Well, that's great. But if I lose the next trade, I will have lost more than have gained on my first trade.
Right, I understand that.
So I have to. I believe that I need to do that personally. I'll feel better having a larger room for error. So if in the second trade I lose, I break at least even, right?
Sure.
And so that's so I kind of managed that a little bit. But right now I'm running my first target 17 contracts. So just now I locked in 17. On my second group I locked 3. So 2 points. So that's 6 points.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
And so that's 23 points right there. So if I'm trading 22 contracts, I'm already up. Even if this comes back and I only get a tick out of it.
Yeah, I got you. I follow that.
Yep. And then I got two contracts trading trailing right now. So and I'm willing to, if it comes back and I only get a tick out of it, that's okay. So because I'm already up regardless, how did I not take it? I got more than if I only had a 1 point stop. So that's kind of my strategy there.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I like it, man. Yeah, that's good. I like that. And that's very important to get. That's what we talked about earlier on. Either to get half to 3/4 of your profit of your position out at that first move, right, at that first target, because of the fact, like you said, it helps you feel a little bit better when you lock in, and you get a little bit more out of it, which is very important to do that. So, good job, very good job.
Thank you.
All right.
And it's coming back to that area.
Yeah, it's coming back into that area right now. So that's all right. I mean, I still think it's going to be short overall. I think it might resist right here at 81 even, but it's going to go down overall. I think. It's just a matter of whether it comes back and ticks you to go down or not, or you could go a little bit. You could even go a little higher. I mean, we do have a real zone up there at 88, hourly. I just took you out. Okay, no worries, right?
Let's get to our other zone here.
Yeah, let's run it up to the other zone. Which
cool.
This is just good for everybody to see this and understand. I mean, the market's going to do what the market wants to do. Nobody can tell you for sure what the market's going to do. It's just when we put our entries in, we put our trades in, we do the best that we can do at managing it, and what we think could happen. Sometimes it does happen, sometimes it doesn't, right? But at least we have a plan going in before every trade, and we have a defined risk as well as profit. So you still made a lot of points, like you said. You still, out of that one trade, you still made a lot of 23, 24 points, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So good job. Even though it came back and one ticked you out, you still made 23, 24 points. So very nice, very nice.
Which is my goal, right? To at least go above the just 1 point stop. Sorry, I gotta take this call real quick. 1 second.
That's fine. Yeah, no worries. All right. Awesome. So if you're just joining us, excuse me, sorry about that. Excuse me. Thank you for checking us out. We sure do appreciate that. We definitely had some good trades this morning, and then some spikes got us. So at least for me, on what you see on the channel here is a chart. I only run 2 contracts just because I keep it small for the channel. And I want everybody to understand this can be done on a very small account here. So we keep 2 contracts. Unfortunately, this morning I made 3 points, which was nice. You'll see on the left-hand side up there, you'll see my markers showing the entries as well as the targets and stops. So you'll show those. I do that so you can see this is real. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not saying, hey, I got in here and I made 2 points, and not show it to you, or vice versa. I got in here and it got stopped out, so I lost points. So we're going to be very transparent here. But you'll see at the end of the day that spreadsheet is, the balances is growing very, very nicely. And we do that at the end of every session. About 11 o'clock, we show and update the spreadsheet so you can see that. Because we want to be very real here to show it can be done. So you'll see on my chart here, unfortunately I took a loss. I have a 1 point negative loss for today because I had 2 trades jump in on 2 different zones we thought would get respected, and unfortunately it didn't. They went to respect another zone that we had drawn, and unfortunately lost those 4 points. So I was positive 3 and ended up losing 4, so negative net 1. So no big deal, but I'm done. I don't like losing points, so I took 2 trades there based on zone, so I was okay with losing if I ended up losing, because I felt our zones would give us good supply there and support out of that, and I mean resistance out of that. And even though they did, they just took me pretty quickly and then showed that they respected those. But unfortunately, I got taken out. So, and that's okay. That's part of the game, man. That's doing business in the market. So, so because I took those 2 losses and ended up going negative 1 point for the day, I'm not going to trade anymore. I'm going to have the discipline to wait, and I'll give back profits that I've made over previous days and weeks, and just not going to give it back. You know, you fight hard to get the profit, so you don't want to give it back. All right, so we're at -1 for the day on this channel that you can see right here for this trade. But what you'll see at 11 o'clock or so, you'll see the spreadsheet come up, and as an individual trader, which we'll explain when we see the spreadsheet, the point was made first this morning, so that's always positive. That's what you see on the thumbnails. That price that we put on there is 1.1 or 1 point lost, and you'll see that we made that 1 point this morning. Our Soto made that 1 point, because I don't take the points I make in the mornings for that, because I've been doing this a lot longer. But we let Soto and Mitchell get credit for those since they're new, and we track their results on that 1 point, 1 contract, 1 point a day method. So which he made his 1 point this morning, even though he's trading 20-something contracts right now. He started out at 1 contract 30 days ago, guys. So he's been able to compound it very quickly because he takes multiple trades, and that's okay. He's been doing this for a little while. But in the spreadsheet and what we track is just 1 point. When you have 1 contract, you're taking 1 point, 1 point win or 1 point loss. And if you want to keep trading, then at that point you go to your demo account and you trade demo. So that's what we track, is the 1 point win or 1 point loss based on 1 contract. And that's kind of the reflection you guys see. And then we also have a team we have a team kind of tracking that we're keeping, and today for the team I ended up losing 1 point for that, but Soto's going to end up really helping us out on that side of it. But okay, so just hang with us another 15 minutes or so, 15-18 minutes, and we'll update that spreadsheet and we'll call it a day. But please jump in, ask any questions you might have, subscribe to the channel if you don't mind, and then hopefully you can get notification every time we go live here, which is every morning between 9 and 11 Eastern, 8 to 10 Central Time. So we'll kind of do this every morning, kind of walk through it. So, but check out the channel. You'll see some videos there to kind of help with some of the method that we do with the price action, volume, support and resistance, and supply and demand. We kind of give you those, and so check those out, kind of learn them, and then make this a little bit less confusing each day. And we try to keep it simple. There's a lot, looks like there's going on there, but there really isn't that much going on. So just kind of watch some of those, and then please come in and ask all the questions you can. We'd love to answer any questions you have and kind of explain this in real time. And you can trade with us if you'd like, but just make sure you understand, you read the disclaimers that are on the site there, that this is all for educational purposes. Okay, so any trades that we take here is not a recommendation in any way, shape, or form. Okay, if you take a trade, it's purely on your own decision making and your own responsibility and results. Okay,
that's right.
All right, so you
so
love how that thing came back and ticked you out. But you got back in, didn't you?
I'm about to lose here in a minute.
Did you get back in?
No.
Okay.
I was like, oh man, I should lock it at 6 points. No, I'm just kidding. No, I feel good because at the end of the day, at the end of that trade, I still broke higher. So the max points I could have gotten if I had a 1 point stop profit with 22 contracts is 22 points, right? So I made more than that, so I'm okay. Yeah, I could have made more if I locked it at 6 points, but again, I took the calculated risk of saying, hey, I can let this run and this will be a big move, you know, and I'm up for the week now. If I had broken even or I was kind of down on the week, yeah, I would have locked it in at 6 points, right? So, but I'm okay. I'm comfortable leaving, doing what I did. So,
all right.
And I was just making a math, so I'm net 41 and a quarter for today.
Your net 40 and a quarter. Good.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So very good. Plenty to play with here. So.
Yeah. Plenty to play with. So no reason at this point in time. I mean, iron price is going to definitely continue to go short here, but it's up to you if you decide to jump in any of that kind of stuff. But we got 15 minutes left of the live stream, so I'm done. Obviously, I'm not going to trade anymore because of the channel, for the channel. But it's fun to watch this thing play out like you thought it would, and it just it's going to decide to do it when it wants to do it. But I think it does play out the way we were talking about, to the short side. But Paul said he missed out on that roller coaster. I hear you, Paul. Yeah, that's a good thing to miss out on, man. I don't like news trades but in those areas, but they happen often, so we got to be aware of them. But I'm glad you missed out on it, man. You kept your points. That's good. But I think you made some points earlier on today, and hopefully you kept those, and be back tomorrow and do it again. All right?
Yes. Quick, I was going to say. Go there. That was. Yeah, totally blank out what I was going to say here. Sorry.
That's all right.
Probably the super important question, like live death threat. Oh yeah. Every time I think if I'm not mistaken, not every time, but at least I would say majority of the losses you and I have had have been on the flash thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've been mainly on these flashes that it is what it is. It's usually HF high frequency trading, and yeah, see you tomorrow, Paul. Thanks, man. Good job today. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, the HFT, what they call high frequency trading, I think that's what when you see those big flashes like that, it's usually kind of what that is, and that's all algorithm based, and can't do much about it. It happens,
Yeah.
And you're just okay with that, but that's not that calm. I mean, it's not going to happen. We're going to make more money by trading our method than we are going to lose by those little flashes. So nothing to worry about, man. It's part of the business, right?
Yeah, but I think I guess what I was trying to say is it's good in the sense of I believe had it not been for the flash, I think we would have been okay.
Yeah, sure.
We had big zones, that's right. That's kind of what I would say is just like just now that little flash that we had. I think you and I both were in. I think in the little trade here at the 74 area.
Yeah.
75 area, whatever. I think had it not been for the flash, I think we would have had some rejection out of that area. So, not saying we would have gotten our point, but at least a little more rejection. They just flying through it. So,
right.
No problem.
Dude,
by the way, no way I want you to be concerned for my safety. Just know that I'll be okay probably, but there are two calves sitting like 3 feet from me. And the mom is sitting there in guard, staring at me.
So if you guys haven't figured it out yet, Soto lives on a farm, a Longhorn farm, a cattle ranch. So
Texas Longhorns, like they're official Texas Longhorn trading, registered things.
Yeah, so he has some good entertainment every morning. They kind of outside his window there, and so that's what he's referring to. So that's good. He has an audience.
Be all right. Just don't go outside. Oh yeah, look at this move. Nice.
Yeah, good move right here, right? Good move to the downside. Yeah, we like to see that.
I could have been running this thing.
Here you go. I coulda, woulda, shoulda.
See, if I move my stop 20 points into it now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's what a lot of people will do right now. They'll say, okay, from now on, I'm going to move my stop. I'm not going to get stopped out. I knew it was going to go this way. That's what they're going to do, and the next time it doesn't go this way, and they lose 20 points on the stop. Instead of that 1 point. 1 point is massively huge, guys. 1 point stops are non-negotiable.
Yeah, if you look at my entry was 81.75.
Which is
if I would have moved my stop, I would have had to go above 84.5.
Oh, you're higher than that. Yeah.
I mean, higher than that, but you don't know that at the time.
Yeah,
right?
you don't know that at the time. That's right.
So you're like, well, how high are you going to go? Risk, this going your way. Yeah. So that's why I'm okay locking in instead of that. I actually made a profit in taking profit for each contract from the open, which was two, so I made half a point.
Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. That's good.
Perfect.
All right. Well, hey, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and do the spreadsheet early and stuff today because we're not doing any other trading. Or at least I'm not. So I'm gonna go ahead. I didn't think you would. So let's just go ahead and pull the spreadsheet in, kind of update it so everybody can see it.
Dude, I'm going to take a picture of this, by the way, because this is classic mom garden and two calves.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
It's so cool. It's like cool, but scary at the same time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I had a dream. This is true. It was like a nightmare. I was getting attacked by a bull. So you got to be careful, man. There's bulls out there, too, I'm sure.
All right, guys. You should see the spreadsheet now. On your screen, you'll see the individual results here. Okay, that's what we keep for the 1 point a day challenge. Okay, and that's what we do. It's one contract. Okay, you have a $1,000 account. It's one contract. You have a 1 point stop and a 1 point profit target. Okay, no matter whichever one's hit for that day, you're done trading. So as you can see, we've done very well with that. So today's 10/3/19. One contract traded. 1 point made this morning, 0 loss. So we're back into that account. So we're up in that account $754. Okay, so if you started with a $1,000 account, doing when we did at the beginning of this whole journey of roughly 30 days ago, when we started tracking this stuff, 28 days ago, whatever it is now, you'll see that our 1 point stops and our 1 point targets, whether we made a point or lost a point, we've put it in here. Okay, so you can see there's a couple days on 8/29 and 8/30 where we lost back to back. First trade of the day, our 1 point, we got stopped out. We lost those trades back to back. Okay, we put them in here, and then you'll see it happen again on 9/5 and 9/6. We lost 2 days in a row there. Okay, and we put them in there. So we took a $55 loss. This includes commissions, guys, okay? So understand that. It's not without commissions. This is net of commissions. So so at this point today, you're up $1,754, or you're up $754, but your count is registered at $1,754.40. So that's 75% on your $1,000 account in 30 days. So good job there. Very good job on the 1 point. Okay, that's the 1 point profit. That's the whole challenge for the course is 1 point a day, and with one contract and a $1,000 account, that's where it's at. So good job. Now we go to the team over here. It's a little bit different now. We kind of combine what we've done together, wins and losses. So we add those up here, and we only use one contract just because it's a lot less confusing for people. And we just tally the total points based on one contract, or as if you were trading one contract, it's a cumulative. So, all right, Soto. So how many points have you made total? Grand total.
Total.
You're breaking up.
62 point a quarter.
You broke up on me.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
62 and a quarter.
62 and a quarter is what you made grand total.
And a quarter.
All right. So just
That's
one second.
correct.
Let me get mine here. Hold on a minute. All right. So we're gonna have 65 and a quarter together. All right. So how many did you lose now? So I lost
22.
You lost 22. So I lost 4. So we lost 26 total. Still netted out 39 and a quarter.
Very nice.
Yeah, so pretty nice there. Let me put in one contract here so we can tally everything here. All right, so we paid $474 in commissions, right? But netted out $1,488 today. So as a team, we're up to $15,623. Okay, that's just so people can see we still trade through the 2 hours. We don't just take our 1 point and be done. We stay here and trade, okay, for a couple hours just so you can kind of watch it. So that's kind of it. But the big thing to really watch here is the individual results. Okay, that's the big deal. Is the individual results. All right. So I guess that's going to be it for right now, Soto. Unless you got something else.
Yeah.
But I think
I
think that'll kind of be good for the day. And then everybody did well. So again, thanks for joining us again today, guys. I sure do appreciate that. Ask any questions you might have. Subscribe to the channel if you don't mind, and we'll see you do it again in the morning. But Wes, thanks for asking all the questions you did today. Sure do appreciate that, man. Hope you can watch some of those videos and come back tomorrow and we can talk about it a little bit more. But hope everybody has a great day, and we'll see y'all bright and early in the morning. Have a good one.
You've been listening and watching the Titan Futures 1 Point a Day Challenge. Live stream. Remember, we're live daily, 9 to 11. And BK, Soto, and Mitchell are here to help. The Titan Futures 1 Day Point a Day Challenge, where anyone can learn how to day trade the futures market. Till next time.